Mystery creates wonder, and wonder is the basis of man's desire to understand. A quote by Neil Armstrong. The unknown will always be a problem that we seek to solve, whether it be a tall tale or real occurrences. But what about tales of tragedy, of heartbreak? If you lose a loved one, you want to know all the details, including what happened. We are willing to subject ourselves to pain in order to fully understand. Because somehow, deep down inside, knowing what actually happened brings a sense of comfort, but not knowing is torment. And the book about your life remains open until the end is finally written. Resting in the center of Arkansas is the state capital of Little Rock, a city with a population that is just under 202,000 people. Little Rock is a place that doesn't holster any big attractions, at least not like the big cities offer. But it is known for a few small attractions that the locals deem worthy of visiting, like the Rocktown Distillery or the Arkansas River Trail. But if you're looking to escape the bright lights of this city and enjoy the outdoors, the Pinnacle State Park is shortly a 20-minute drive from Little Rock itself. If you're fond of living the big city life, Little Rock may not be the place for you, but for others, they choose to call it home. March 5th, 1997. The world would make way for Destiny Dennis. She would be born to her parents Marcus Dennis and Emily Martin. Little Rock, Arkansas is instilled with a lot of traditional values, so she would have a traditional upbringing. From her early age, she would begin to mold herself into the woman that she would become. She would join KAA, or what others know as Kids Across America, an organization intended on empowering young students and youth. The city of Little Rock is where she would be raised, as well as receiving her education. She would go through elementary, and then middle school, and then eventually graduate from J.A. Fair High School in the year of 2015. By the time of graduation, she was a young woman, ready to take on the world, and she had developed into a person that everyone around her cherished. She's described as a person who was loving, kind-hearted, giving, a person who knew the importance of placing others before yourself. Around town to her friends and family, she was known as the girl with the bubbly personality, a woman who took pride in the way she dressed. She was very big on fashion. Upon graduating, she would further her studies at A&M University, located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Upon completion of school, she would have decided on a career choice. She chose to become a cosmetologist, but having the big heart that she had, she often looked for other jobs that would help her give back more. She would become a substitute teacher for a short period of time and was even thinking about going back to school in order to become a full-time teacher. Coming full circle, how she was mentored at a young age at Kids Across America, she was about to return the favor by mentoring others. By the year of 2018, Destiny Dennis would be 21 years old. In the year of 2018, she would also welcome a daughter into this world. Giving birth to a daughter was a very special moment for her, as she would often take to social media and post little details about what she wanted. And a few of those posts were about being ready to be a mother. At this point in her life, Destiny Dennis was working 2 jobs. She had a career, and life was okay. But being the determined person that she wasn't exactly content with where she was at, because she was always striving for more, ready to get to the next level. December 25th, 2018. A date that needs no introduction. It was Christmas, And just like every other holiday, she would return home to her family to spend time. Now, by this time, she had a big family. She had 9 brothers and 1 sister. Spending time with each other was very important for the family, as they were very tight-knit. I imagine that the holiday was spent just like anyone else's house. The exchanging of gifts, then stuffing your belly with the Christmas dinner, and sitting around reminiscing on old times. At this moment of time, you're happy, you're grateful, everything is okay. After enjoying Christmas with her family, Destiny Dennis couldn't stick around for the new year because she had plans to travel to Florida. So, on December 26th of 2018, she would bid farewell to her family and head off to her destination. But when she left, little did the family know that that would be the last time they ever saw their loved one. The plan for Destiny Dennis was to visit Florida, in which she had friends that stayed there. She would go there for the new year, enjoy her time, and then head out. January 4th, 2019. She would be leaving Florida and on her way to Atlanta, Georgia. While driving in their car, they would decide to make a stop in Jacksonville, Florida. Now, this stop wasn't to visit the area. It was merely a pit stop on a road trip. So they stopped in Jacksonville, Florida and went to a gas station. While at this gas station with her boyfriend and her daughter, an attempted robbery would take place. During this altercation, Destiny would sustain a gunshot wound and be rushed to the hospital. But when she reached the hospital, it was too late. She would be pronounced dead on arrival. When the robbery took place, her boyfriend wasn't harmed, nor was her child. The only one who sustained an injury was Destiny. But aside from the robbery, this is where the story begins to get a bit cloudy. After this robbery took place, Destiny would in fact be rushed to the hospital, but it wasn't by EMS, it was by her boyfriend. They would observe that she was shot once behind the left ear, and this wound was in fact the fatal wound that took her life. On January 4th of 2019, 21-year-old Destiny Dennis would officially become the 3rd homicide of Jacksonville, Florida for the year of 2019. But to complicate things even worse, the only details that the authorities had at this point was the story that the boyfriend had given them. So they decided to run down this lead. Now, I'm pretty sure when questioned by the authorities, the boyfriend was asked what gas station did they go to. And I'm going to be honest with you, they haven't released any information at all. So I'm imagining that when they questioned him about the gas station that they visited, it's either 1, the gas station didn't have surveillance cameras, or 2, he told the authorities that he didn't remember where they stopped. Now, as far as who tried to rob them, the boyfriend is adamant that he didn't know this guy. He said that this was a completely random act. Her boyfriend describes the event as pulling over at the gas station in Jacksonville that day. He then says that a random man came up to the car and started demanding their belongings. He says that they did in fact comply with what he wanted. They were being cooperative. But despite their cooperation, Destiny was shot anyways.
Tonight, a desperate plea from a Central Arkansas mother who wants to know what happened to her daughter.
They haven't given a suspect description. They haven't named a person of interest. I don't know about any footage or if they're looking for. Matter of fact, they're not even sure of the location. Sometimes I don't know a lot. They were able to tell me that Destiny was in a car, they believe, and that she was shot behind her left ear, came out of her right forehead.
Destiny's 6-month-old daughter was in the car during the shooting but was not injured. Martin says she hopes the baby will grow up knowing that her mother loved her.
She comes from a long lineage of very strong women, and that her mom was somebody that loved her very much. I know she wishes she could be here to raise her, but we're going to do our best to make sure she's not forgotten, and she knows exactly who her mother is. She had a big heart. She had a smile that would light up the room. She was born smiling. She was just great. She was just great. I want justice immensely. I want the person that did this to know that they took away my child. You destroyed a family. You have created a void in a family that is close-knit. You have taken a mother from her child.
With very little information to go on, the only thing that the police could do at this point is to release surveillance footage or a description of the getaway vehicle that the robber might have been driving. But neither of those have been released to the public. The only story that has been released on Destiny Dennis is the story that her boyfriend gave the police. Now, they would release a statement letting everyone know what happened around the area, and they would ask anyone with any information to come forward. But no one did. However, something odd did happen. The driver's license of Destiny Dennis would be turned in to the local authorities by a random person. At the time of this person turning in Destiny's driver's license, it wasn't immediately known that she was a homicide victim, but rather they figured it was someone who just found someone's license and was being a good Samaritan and turning it in. So they didn't get this person's name. This person would in fact turn in this license weeks after the incident occurred. And now the police are searching for this person. They're asking them to come forward and let them know a little bit more about where they found this item. But the person that they were looking for never came forward. Whoever found this license may or may not be holding some valuable information. They simply dropped the license off to the authorities and told them that they found it in a random parking lot. The weeks after the death of 21-year-old Destiny Dennis would begin to turn into months. And then those months would fade into a full year. And still, no answers.
It's now been a year since 21-year-old Destiny Dennis was shot and killed in Jacksonville. To this day, no arrests have been made in the murder. News 4 Jax reporter Corley Peel joins us live now to show us how this past year has been for her family. Corley, they're desperately searching for an answer.
They are, and it's been a year since Destiny Dennis was dropped off here at Baptist after that shooting, and her family says it's been an extremely difficult year because they still want to know who killed her and why.
The year is now 2023, and the only information that anyone has about what happened to Destiny is the story that her boyfriend gave police. Now, I don't want people to think that I'm jumping the gun and trying to accuse the boyfriend of anything, but I will say this. I'm not exactly sure that that's the accurate story. I truly feel like there's a little bit more to that story. I'm not saying that they weren't robbed. I'm saying that I think some details were left out. But again, that's pure speculation, and that's my opinion. Feel free to leave how you feel in the comments. What happened to 21-year-old Destiny Dennis is completely tragic. It's sad on every type of level today. And the daughter is now in the care of a mother. And her daughter is now old enough to begin asking questions. And the grandmother is dreading the day that she will eventually have to tell her what happened. If you are the person or know the person who found her driver's license, please reach out to the Jacksonville, Florida Police Department with the information that you know. If you know anything about what happened to her, come forward, because a family is left in the dark with no answers, and the void will never be filled until they receive them. Mystery creates wonder, and wonder is the basis of man's desire to understand.
Emily Martin and loved ones reflect on the memories prior to January 4th, 2019.
This is a day I'll never forget. It plays repeatedly in my mind.
The unknown will always be a problem that we seek to solve, whether it be a tall tale or real occurrences.
Marley is now 4 years old, and Martin says she's asking questions now about her mother.
When the time comes when I have to have this difficult conversation with her daughter, the person needs to know that there is another person involved that is going to want to know what happened to my mom.
But what about tales of tragedy, of heartbreak? If you lose a loved one, you want to know all the details, including what happened. We are willing to subject ourselves to pain in order to fully understand. Because somehow, deep down inside, knowing what actually happened brings a sense of comfort, but not knowing is torment. And the book about your life remains open until the end is finally written. Rest in peace, Destiny Dennis. Thank you for being a light for others.